In the last class, we have already discussed the hydrogen atom problem, and we treated the Schrodinger equation in spherical polar coordinates r theta phi due to the spherical symmetry of the problem. Okay, so we wrote Schrodinger equation in spherical polar coordinates r theta phi, and then wave function psi is also a function of r theta and phi. Then we divided or splitted the wave function into the product of three independent parts. That is, r, capital R is a function of small r, into capital theta is a function of small theta, and capital phi as a function of small phi. Okay, and then we did a mathematical technique which is known as variable separable, and using that technique we divided, splitted the Schrodinger equation into three different independent Schrodinger equations. Okay, so radial equation, polar equation, and azimuthal equation. I think hope all of you remember. I will just show you the results, and I hope you noted one correction regarding the spherical Laplacian operator del square in spherical polar coordinate. Hope everybody noted that correction. So this is the azimuthal equation or the differential equation for the wave function part capital phi. Capital phi is a function of small phi only. Now we have to solve this equation, each three different equations separately. So this was the one equation. Next equation was this one. See this one, 1 by sine theta, dou by dou theta. Okay, this was the polar equation or the differential equation of capital theta, which is only a function of small theta. Then we have the radial equation. See, the radial equation is this one. Okay, so this is the most important one because radial part equation is the most important one. Electron is actually, even though it is revolving around the atom, uh, that is for a fixed r, theta and phi are varying, but that doesn't give any characteristic things from outside the to the outside of the atom. When electron is orbiting in a stationary orbit, it will continue forever. That is why the atoms exist. Okay, the atoms are stable. But the more important thing is the atom absorbs energy and atom radiates energy when the electrons are moving radially, that is from one orbit to another orbit, either excitation or de-excitation. So when that happens, this radial movement is very important. Is the idea clear? So this equation is the most important equation governing the atom, because that radial movement is actually shows the characteristics of the atom. It emits radiations or absorbs radiation, which which is the only method by which we can understand which atom, what is the nature of the atom, like that. What is the electronic distribution? What is the spectra from the atom? All these are mainly uh, radial equation. Okay, now let us solve these equations, these three equations separately, and let us find what are the results. So first I am going to solve this azimuthal equation, which is d square phi by, I will write this is the azimuthal equation, dou square phi. Now I can write all this partial derivative I can remove, because only one variable is there, so I can write the full derivative. all three independent equations are when after separating them, you can use full derivative. No need of partial derivative because other variables are absent. Only one variable is there. So I am taking this equation and going to write full derivative. No problem in writing full derivative because there is no r and theta in this equation. Only phi is there, so no need of partial derivative. So we are going to solve three differential equations separately. Okay. So we are going to solve the three equations separately. Okay. So first take the azimuthal equation, which is d square phi capital phi by d phi square equal to minus m square capital phi. Okay. I think why it is clear why we are writing full derivative, because there is no other variable, only one variable, so we can write full derivative. No need of partial. Even if partial is writing, it is okay. Okay, now what is the solution of this equation? This is very easy, very simple, because when you differentiate phi two times, so what is phi? Phi is a function of small phi. So when you differentiate phi two times, you should get the phi itself along with a constant minus m square. Okay, so that will be normally exponential or sine, cosine, like that, trigonometric functions. Okay, so usually the solution is e to the power of I m phi. Okay, I m small phi plus I m phi. When you differentiate two times, what happens? I m comes two times, so I square m square. I square is minus, so you get a minus m square phi. Okay, so even if it is minus, so plus is okay. Even if it is minus, minus is also okay. Minus im whole square, that is also minus m square. Okay, so plus or minus is possible. So now put a normalization factor, put a constant, then also this will be valid. Okay, so this is the solution of azimuthal equation. So solution is capital phi of phi equal to a into e to the power of plus or minus im phi. Now this constant we have to evaluate. How we can evaluate? A, by normalizing this. So this is normalized. We should first normalize this one so that you will get capital A. Okay, and that is integral capital phi star small phi, then capital phi small phi, then dou phi equal to 1. This is the normalization condition. But what are the limits? I think you know the limits of spherical polar coordinates. Very important. What are the limits of r, theta and phi? Small r, small theta and small phi. We have already discussed it earlier. R is varying from 0 to infinity. Okay. Then theta, which is the angle between the position vector and the z axis, theta varies from 0 to pi. And phi, which is the angle between the projection along the xy axis and the x-axis, this phi, small phi varies between 0 to 2 pi. I think that is clear to you. Everybody knows that. Limits of r, theta, and phi. R varies from 0 to infinity, theta varies from 0 to pi, phi varies from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so this is the normalization condition. So you substitute here. So this is integral 0 to 2 pi phi star. Take the complex conjugate of this one. So that is a star e to the power of minus or plus im phi. See, plus or minus becomes minus or plus. Is that clear? This is psi star. Now what is capital phi? This is phi star. What is capital phi? A into e to the power of plus or minus im phi. Okay. Into dou phi equal to 1. Okay. Now see this, these two exponentials cancel each other. Because when it is minus, this is plus. When it is plus, this is minus. So they will cancel, always cancel each other. So what remains is a star a, or we can write it as modulus s square. That is a constant. You can take it outside. Integral 0 to 2 pi phi dou phi equal to 1. Is that okay? Okay, is that clear? Now you integrate d phi, that is phi, apply limits 2 pi minus 0, so you get modulus s square 2 pi minus 0 equal to 1, or this implies modulus s square equal to 1 by 2 pi, or a equal to 1 by root 2 pi. This is the normalization constant. Is that clear? So we found the azimuthal angle normalization factor. Substitute that here, so we get the phi of phi as 1 by root of 2 pi, then e to the power of plus or minus im phi. This is the normalized form of azimuthal wave function. Is that clear? Now we need some information about this constant m. Okay. For that, we can use another property of wave function, because this wave function should remain the same when the see, this is the variation of phi is from 0 to 2 pi. 0 to 2 pi, again it can go from 0 to 2 pi, again 0 to 2 pi, like that. So at 0 and 2 pi, the value of capital phi should be same, because this is just like a circle. Phi varies from 0 to 360 degree, 0 to 2 pi radian. So it is like a circle. So for at when that is known as single valuedness. Apply single. We already told that wave function should be single valued. Single valuedness of capital phi means that and capital phi at 2 pi should be same. Just a minute. See, the wave function should be single valued. Is the idea clear? Because this 0 to 2 pi is a circle. 0 and 2 pi means same point. So the wave function should be same at 0 and 2 pi. Okay. So what is the meaning of that one? So apply this condition in this equation. In this equation, you put phi, small phi equal to 0 and small phi equal to 2 pi. That should be same. Okay. So we can write a into or 1 by root 2 pi e to the power of, you put phi equal to 0 here. That means e to the power of 0 equal to 1 by root 2 pi e to the power of plus or minus I m 2 pi. So e to the power of 0 is 1. 1 by root 2 pi cancels on both sides. This is 1. So this implies that e to the power of plus or minus 2 m pi equal to 1. Okay. So from this, what is the meaning of, what will be the values of m from this? We know that e to the power of, or I can write, I will explain that. See, e to the power of I into 2m pi equal to 1 plus or minus e to the power of plus or minus I into 2m pi equal to 1. That means this is actually cos 2m pi plus I sin 2m pi. This is actually, I can write cos 2m pi plus or minus I sin 2m pi equal to 1. Okay. So from this, when this will be 1? 1 means this complex term should permanently vanish. I term should permanently vanish. Okay. Right side is only real part, real number. So cos 2m pi equal to 1. That means m can be, what is the possible values of this means cos 2m pi equal to 1. That means m can be 0, then m can be 1, plus 1 or minus 1, no problem, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, etc., plus or minus 3, etc. So we get a new idea about the value of m. M varies like this. M is known as, okay, M is known as azimuthal quantum number. It is actually about the rotation of the electron around the nucleus, because phi means it is a kind of rotation. Theta and phi both corresponds to rotation. R corresponds to the radial movement. So azimuthal quantum number, or another term is magnetic quantum number, or magnetic quantum number, because only when magnetic field is applied externally, this quantization is revealed by the atom. Otherwise, this property will be hidden inside the atom. Only when external magnetic field is applied, the atom reveals this quantization. That is why this is known as magnetic quantum number. Okay. So this is the value of, and since these are integer values, sometimes we call this m as ml also, ml. That I will tell later why we call it as ml, because m is actually the component of orbital angular momentum L. So normally we call this m as ml. M we denote as ml. Later we found that because this m is a component of orbital angular momentum L, we denote m by ml. Okay. So our final solution becomes capital phi, which is a function of small phi, equal to 1 by root 2 pi e to the power of I ml phi, because this plus or minus we have taken it here, plus or minus will come from here. So if you take ml equal to 0, 1, plus or minus 1, so here plus or minus will automatically come. So phi will be, you can write it as 1 by 2 root of 2 pi e to the power of I ml phi, because ml already contains plus or minus. Okay, so we have solved the one differential equation, which is almost simple, very easy. Anybody can solve that. Okay, so our next target is solving the polar equation. So the polar equation was, now solve polar equation. So polar equation was 1 by sine theta d by d theta of sine theta d theta by d theta. Here it is capital D theta plus lambda minus ml square divided by sine square theta. This one into capital theta equal to 0. Okay. So hope you can go back and verify whether the equation is same. Now we see we did one change. We changed the m into ml, because already m we denoted as ml. So we adopted that change here. Now this differential equation not easy to solve. Okay, but only thing what we can do is, we can as we did in the LHO problem, linear harmonic oscillator problem, we can change this equation, transform this equation into some standard format. I hope you remember that idea. Otherwise, this is not easy to solve. So for that, you simply substitute x equal to cos theta. Okay, so wherever x is there, wherever cos theta is there, you can replace it by cos theta. Okay, so when you replace, do a change of variable like this, x equal to cos theta. So hence we can see that the value of x is between -1 and +1, because cos theta is varying between -1 and +1. So x is also varying between -1 and +1. Okay. Now you can find dx by d theta by dx. So you can do a lot of manipulations using this substitution, and finally you can reduce this equation into a standard differential equation. Okay, and I am going to write only the final result. The in between steps I will write and give you as notes. Today itself I will give you send as notes, so you can complete that steps. Okay, so you do substitute this condition, substitute this one, so that one more thing you have to do, that this lambda you can substitute as L into L plus 1. That is another substitution. When you do these two substitutions, this equation becomes into a standard format like this. So I will write that d by dx of 1 minus x square d capital theta by dx plus L into L plus 1 minus ml square divided by sine square theta, all into capital theta equal to 0. Okay, so finally this equation can be reduced into this form. This substitution is direct, lambda equal to L into L plus 1 is direct. Though all other things you have to find some dx by d theta by dx, and all you can substitute it here. That I will write in a separate paper and I will send it to you. Okay, those who are interested, mathematically more interested, they can complete that steps. Otherwise, average students, you can simply by heart this equation, polar equation, can be substituted like this, and it will finally become like this. That's the only thing you have to write. Even for examination, you can write like that. No problem. In between steps, you can skip. You will not lose any marks. Okay. So this is slightly complicated. Those who need more marks can write that also. Not very difficult. It is easy. But still, I am not doing that because not to confuse you too much. Okay. So this equation, polar equation, can be converted into a standard differential equation, which is known as associated Legendre differential equation. Okay, whose solutions are, so this is a standard differential equation whose solutions are associated Legendre polynomials. So solution is associated Legendre polynomials. I think this is known to you because we have already did the LHO problem. Polynomials are known to you. That polynomial, we write it as P L in the subscript, M as superscript, then X. Okay, this is the notation PLMX. Okay, so the solution is, I can simply write the solution capital theta as PLMX. Now put a normalization factor B as we did put A earlier. So this is the solution. This is the advantage of converting into standard differential equations. So everything about the Legendre polynomials are known. So you can simply take that solution as the solution for the polar equations. Okay. Now I have to write this exact form of this polynomial and normalize this capital theta. So all these are I am skipping because that is not needed for BSc level. Slightly complicated. Okay. So I am only saying the result. What is the result you are going to get after normalizing this associated Legendre polynomials? Okay. So after writing the solution, the solutions should be finite. We for the well-behaved wave function, this solution should be finite. For solution to be finite, we have to apply some conditions for this constant L. The constant L, small l, because small l we have introduced now, because see this is the m already we have introduced earlier. Now we have introduced another variable L, another constant L, small l. Now what is L? So the normalization, after normalizing, you apply the finite condition for the wave function. Then you can see that the constant L should be integral values, integer values. That is one condition. Another is L should be greater or equal to M. Okay, so the finiteness requirement of wave function gives that L should be an integer and L should be two conditions. L should be greater than or equal to M. Okay, so we can write as according to this result. I am not skipping many things, don't worry, only the result I am saying. So we got some idea about L, or L is known as orbital quantum number. Okay, and according to this, L can have ML value, then ML plus 1, ML plus 2, like that. But ML can have plus or minus, so you have to take the modulus like this. Or simply saying L can have 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay, so this is the value we call it as S. See, L equal to 1, we call it as SPDF, like that. Is that clear? So L is known as orbital quantum number. And this actually ML, it should be the component of L.